Before we talk about Virgin, I just want to get your thoughts. A lot of concern this morning about supply chains, and there may be shortages of meat, there might be shortages of food, not just in Victoria, but throughout the nation. What's your information about that?
Well, I can assure you that everything is being done to make sure that those supply chains stay open, to make sure that the logistics are right. And only last night I had a hookup with each and every one of the transport and roads ministers right throughout the country. We spoke via teleconference. We made sure that we agreed upon a national protocol for freight. Now, that was agreed upon back on July 24. It's going to National Cabinet tomorrow, but we've made sure over the past couple of weeks that everything is as it should be, and certainly we don't want to see trucks or any other supply carriers stopped at borders. We want one consistency right across the nation, and that's what we've achieved together.
Okay, so there's going to be exemptions for all truck drivers who are transporting food and what have you.
We want to make sure that trucks carry the necessary supplies, and whether that's personal protection equipment, medical supplies, respiratory equipment, food, grocery, meat, whatever the case might be, that they can get across those borders consistently.
Isn't the problem, though, at the warehouses and with these new restrictions that are in place in Victoria, meaning that the workforce in those particular warehouses and even the abattoirs have been reduced to such an extent where they just can't get the product out?
Well, I know a lot of work was being done yesterday between the Prime Minister and the Premier of Victoria, between the Treasurer and the Business Council Australia, the large supermarket chains, indeed everybody involved. We're in those discussions. JBS Meats, of course, John Berry and his team. We're making sure that no stone has been unturned to ensure that food supplies, that meat supplies will be available.
Is it your expectation that they will get more expensive for people, say, buying meat at supermarkets or at the butcher?
Well, no company should be taking advantage of the consumers at this time, and of course that's why the ACCC is there if that is actually happening.
Okay, I guess it stands to reason though that if there is a lot of demand and it outstrips supply, that the price jacks up, and that there is suggestions that the cost of lamb's going to go up considerably.
Well, we'd also urge people not to start this hoarding again. That's not necessary. What we want to do is for people to be their best selves, to make sure that whether they're in Victoria or anywhere right across Australia, that they not just think of themselves, but they think of others in every aspect, to make sure that they think of those members of the community who might not be in the position to be able to get out as frequently as they can.
Okay. Sorry, so carry on.
No. It's a matter of actually thinking of others. Other than just yourself at this time. Yes, of course you're going to need to provide for yourselves and your families, but think of others. We don't want to see a situation where people are hoarding food again.
Okay, let's go to Virgin now. An announcement yesterday, 3,000 staff have lost their jobs, basically. They're hoping to hold on to 6,000. Is that the end of the job losses in the industry, do you think, or are you expecting more?
The aviation industry was hit first and hit hardest. Tourism is attempting to bounce back. I think there'll be a lot of people taking domestic flights and taking domestic holidays into the future. International travel, of course, is very much a great concern. We're not sure when those international flights will be able to resume. They won't be anytime soon. But what we want to make sure is that we continue that sector-wide assistance for those airlines. Paul Scurruh told me that but for the assistance that the federal government had provided on a sector-wide level, that Virgin would not be in the position it is today. Yes, it's tough for those 3,000 people who yesterday have been told and will be told in coming days and weeks that they've lost their positions. That, of course, is very, very tough. And, of course, Qantas have made changes too. Airlines right across the nation. Yes, they have been given assistance by the government, but it's also they've had to restructure, they've had to refinance, and they've had to look at their job numbers.
Will you be increasing support in the form of JobKeeper to the airline industry? I mean, it's already there, but will you be increasing again?
Yeah, look, we'll continue to look at what is necessary at the time, and that's what we've done right the way through, right since February, March. We've made sure that the assistance is available, not just for the airline industry, but for the economy, and we will continue to do that in a responsible and practical and pragmatic way. I'm really pleased that Virgin are going to come out of this stronger. In the sense that they will be more competitive. they will be, as Paul Scurruh, the CEO, said yesterday, profitable. And they are back-ending and they are supporting 2/3 of their workforce. And so that is encouraging signs. And we've got a second viable airline.
Minister, I am curious, just finally, Christmas is only a touch over 4 months away. I mean, are we in the situation of no one really being able to travel right up until the Christmas holidays, maybe even beyond?
Well, let's get through this 6 weeks with Victoria first. Let's see how that pans out. Let's try and get this dreadful, insidious virus, contained and minimised as best we can, and let's see what spring and summer brings. We're all in this together. It's not one state versus the rest of the country. We need to get through this situation in Victoria over the next 5.5, 6 weeks. We will do it, and we'll make sure that the mental health is right, that the cyber security is right. I know Paul Fletcher and the Prime Minister are making certain announcements about those sorts of things today. We'll make sure that whatever assistance is needed for the economy, that we look at that as we go on, and certainly we'll have the health outcomes that we so desperately need.
But I suppose it is possible that some cities or even states will be in lockdown at Christmas.
Let's hope not. Let's see what, as I say, this next 6 weeks brings, and if every Victorian can be their best selves over the next period, then hopefully we'll be able to contain and minimise this. We'll get no more outbreaks, no more clusters. Fingers crossed, no more cases, and we'll certainly get through this.
Okay.